I'm Jane Dutton, and in the next half an hour we'll take a look at the day's top local and international news. This is ENCA. Thousands gather to mark the Marikana massacre amid calls for the day to be declared a public holiday. It's a watery hell for millions of Kerala residents, and there are warnings of more flooding to come. We have an update from India. And music lovers the world over are mourning the death of legendary soul singer Aretha Franklin. Marikana mine workers are calling on government to declare August the 16th an official public holiday. Police shot dead 34 miners on this day in 2012 during a violent, protracted strike. It shocked South Africans and the world. Today, politicians, union leaders and miners gathered at the very spot their colleagues were shot and killed. ENCA reporter Zikhona Tsona is in Marikana and filed this report.
One by one, their names read out. Widows and family members of the 34 mine workers shot by police on August 16, 2012, given another chance to remember their loved ones at the very spot where they took their final breath.
Mama, 12,500 as a basic.
Mine workers came out in thousands to remember the day. AMCU President Joseph Matunjwa says information from the Institute for Security Studies that police intentionally killed mine workers is nothing new.
There is no concrete evidence yokuthi abasebenzi abalala kule ndaba bahlasela amaphoyisa. Imedia now seyathetha lesikhathi kuthetha umntaka Mathunjwa phaya kufala mkomishina, imedia yayivala amadlebe ingayizwi into endiyithethayo.
And as for President Cyril Ramaphosa,
Ramaphosa i-big fish enkulu kuthiwa mayiphathe ilizwe kodwa izandla zayo zibovutshwe.
The bloodshed of the 16th of August 2012 is one that will be etched in South Africa's history books forever. On this day, 34 people killed by police and brutally so will forever be remembered. Zikhona Tsona, Marikana in the northwest.
Protests in the Mbombela municipality of Mpumalanga are spreading. Residents there have been calling on government to rebuild homes damaged by storms in Maine. Linda Kuchle Zulu visited the area and spoke to some of those involved.
Service delivery protests are flaring up in Mpumalanga. Residents of Kanyamazane were the first ones to take to the streets to protest against a project that was halted to fix their houses that were destroyed by a hailstorm on May. Now residents of other communities, neighboring communities, have taken to the streets to actually protest against the service delivery that they've been receiving, or rather the lack of service delivery. This community in particular, the Zwelicha community, is protesting for roads. They say they want infrastructure. Community leaders say that this is an opportunity for the province as well as local communities to raise their concerns, take to the streets and ensure that their message is received by municipalities as well as the president of the country.
Obviously, there will be uprising all over, and when there's an uprising at Kanyamazane, and they've been doing this in all other areas, and you've been quiet and you don't get anything. So this community also feels that the only way to make government to listen to you is when you go to the street.
India's southern Kerala state is experiencing its worst monsoon in almost a century. Nearly 80 people have died in torrential rains in the last week, but that number is expected to rise as thousands remain cut off from any relief and rescue efforts. Rebecca Bundam is in Mumbai with the latest.
Severe flooding has claimed the lives of dozens of people in the South Indian state of Kerala. Landslides have been the main cause of death. Hundreds remain stranded because of the monsoon rains. Many more have been moved to rescue camps. Disruption has been widespread, and the usually busy international airport in the city of Kochi has been closed because of a flooded runway. Rescue and relief operations are ongoing, with the Indian Navy deploying teams, including divers, to try to prevent loss of life. Amid the severity of the situation, orders came from India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi for the Defence Ministry to step up operations. But officials have warned that there's likely to be an increase in the death toll. Rebecca Bundan, Mumbai.
Zimbabwe's Electoral Commission is admitting there has been a data error in capturing the country's election results. But it says even with the mistake, President-elect Emmerson Mnangagwa got more than 50% of the votes. This is all he requires to win the poll. The MDC Alliance's challenge against Mnangagwa's victory will be heard in the country's constitutional court next week. Mnangagwa's ZANU-PF is opposing the move. In Italy, rescue workers are still searching for people missing in the rubble of a bridge in Genoa that collapsed. At least 39 people died when a section collapsed on Tuesday. The government's threatening to fine the company operating the motorway or revoke its concession. But the operator says it's made regular safety checks on the 50-year-old bridge. At the same time, the European Commission says Italy will receive over 40 billion rand for infrastructure improvements. Now, the woman who taught us how to spell and own respect has died. Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, died at her home in Detroit this morning. The 76-year-old was battling advanced pancreatic cancer. Franklin was placed in hospice care just 3 days ago. Mary McCarthy looks back at the life of the legend.
I love you so much. Thank you so much for coming out.
The Queen of Soul at the Apollo Theater in New York, singing on the stage that helped make her famous in the 1960s and 70s.
The Apollo is a training ground, really, for young artists to try their wings to see if you can fly. You'll find out right here.
This was just 6 years ago, and Aretha Franklin continued to perform until late last year. From Respect to Natural Woman to Chain of Fools, her songs are so well known they seem to belong to all of us. Franklin's list of accomplishments and awards is endless. She's won 18 Grammys, has sold over 75 million records worldwide, and had a whopping 73 top 100 Billboard hits. In 1987, she made history by becoming the first woman ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She has crooned for everyone from popes to presidents to music superstars who say she inspired their own careers. Franklin was born in Memphis, Tennessee, to a mother who was a talented gospel singer and a father who was known as a preacher with $1 million voice. She was raised in Detroit and moved back there in 1982, leaving Los Angeles where she'd spent the peak of her career.
Justice for 5 children from Springs who've been abused by their parents for decades. That story still ahead.